Now Nikka, please bring back the age statements. And now, finally, my wish has been granted. Welcome to Kanpai Planet, bringing you the world of Japan's drinks direct from the heart of Tokyo. I'm Mac, coming to you from Aloha Whiskey Bar, and today we're taking a look at the Return of Yoichi 10. At 1400 on the 14th of July 2022, a press release was released by Asahi Beer, Nikka Whisky's parent company. It announced the return of an age statement single malt, the Yowichi 10, to Nikka's lineup. The return? That's right. Japan's second largest whiskey maker, founded in 1934, has not had a single malt age statement on the shelves for 7 years. What went so wrong to bring about this situation? The Yowichi core range has its origins back in November 1984, when Nikka celebrated its 50th birthday by releasing a 12-year-old single malt, the company's first, called Hokkaido, named after the Yowichi distillery's home island. This became the Yowichi 12 in 1989. In the same year, it was joined by a Yowichi 10-year sold in a square decanter bottle, liquid that was decanted by Nikka into a regular bottle, as it were, in 1997. In July 1999, the Yowichi 15 and 20-year were born, joined by a no-age statement Yowichi in January 2007. During this time, Nikka released a number of Yowichi single casks and special editions, some of which were devastatingly good, but we won't talk about them because they're in the past now.
Now let us never speak of it again.
This was all happening while there was a dramatic domestic decline in whiskey consumption. Against this backdrop, in 2002 and 2003, Nikka were purportedly hardly making anything, leaving them short-handed when demand finally started to pick up again in 2008. Domestically driven by a Suntory-led highball boom, and internationally by the acclaim and awards that Japanese whiskey was starting to receive, which began in 2001 with, appropriately, a Yowichi 10-year single cask winning Best of the Best in Whiskey Magazine's first ever blind tasting competition. The inevitable crunch that immovable supply and irresistible demand caused was exacerbated by an asadora, a morning drama called Massan, a fictionalized account of the founding of Nikka and the life of their founder Masataka Taketsuru, which was broadcast every morning for 6 months from September 2014. Things soon came to a head, leading to the Nikka Age-mageddon! That was when Nikka discontinued their entire Yowichi and Miyagi-Kyo core range. The 10-year, the 12-year, the 15-year, the 20-year, and even the no-age statement Yowichi, all gone. Nikka left us with the new no-age statement Yowichi bottle consumers see on the shelves today, when they find anything at all. Arch-rival Suntory adopted a different strategy. They culled some of their bottles, the Hibiki 12 being the highest profile, and discontinued some domestically but not overseas, then returned some, causing misleading headlines and driving attention to their product, all while strictly controlling allocations, leading to some insane secondary market prices and more unopened bottles, lest removing that wrapper mean that you are unable to now put your kids through college. But what have Nikka done in the meantime? Well, they've tried to assuage disappointment by releasing a string of no-age statement Yowichi and Miyagi-Kyo variants. Ultra premium editions, malted barley and cask shake-ups, but in the main through a number of cask finish releases, some exclusively for the overseas market. They also discontinued more whiskey. The Nikka 12 held on until April 2019 before being replaced by the Nikka Tailored, and in January 2020, Nikka announced that they would discontinue their 17-year, 21-year and 25-year-old Taketsuru Pure Malts, and they would launch a reformulated no-age statement Taketsuru. But Concurrent with this depressing state of affairs, they've been laying the groundwork for an eventual triumphant return. In October 2019, they announced that they were going to ramp up production by 20%, adding tanks at Yowichi and storage warehouses at Miyagi-kyo. All well and good, but announcements that get whiskey nerds excited are very different from sales and market presence. Nikka Session was released at the end of September 2020 and was the company's first new brand of whiskey since 2014. Why was this significant? Well, there's a chance that, for consumers, absence makes the heart go yonder, and any affinity that they had for Nikka and their offerings will have waned. Some of their headline releases have left fans feeling punch-drunk rather than just drunk. For example, in 2021 they gave us the first releases in the Nikka Discovery series, in which we discovered that these whiskies nowhere near justified their 22,000 yen price tag. While Nikka are putting out yet more Yowichi and Miyagi-kyo no-age statement variants, Japan's new craft distillers have been putting out release after release, stealing the limelight and taking wallet share. Check out the offerings of another Hokkaido distillery, Akeshi, and compare them to those of Nikka's at the Anytime Whiskey Festival. Ironically, they aren't even carrying a no-age statement Yowichi. I asked the guys at Nikka if they had a bottle of Yowichi 10-year, which they've announced the return of 2 days ago, but apparently there isn't even one hiding in the back. So, drum roll, and you see why it deserves one, the new Yowichi 10. It's 45% ABV, the same as the single malt no-age statement Yowichi currently on shelves, and will cost 8,800 yen after tax. That's around $65 US. Pretty reasonable for a Japanese 10-year-old whiskey in the current climate. That's about 20% cheaper than Suntory's 12-year single malts. Don't laugh, that is their actual recommended retail price. It'll be released in Hokkaido on the 26th of July 2022, followed by a nationwide release on the 15th of November. There are plans for overseas distribution, but details are currently undisclosed. Given Nikka's relationship with La Maison de Whisky, I expect a decent number of bottles to end up in Europe. But when I say decent number of bottles, I mean on a relative basis. You see, there will be 9,000 bottles per year released in Japan, and my channel checks suggest that the majority of these bottles may well be going to the on-trade, which effectively makes this unobtainium. It won't even be sold in the shop at the Yowichi distillery itself, with tastings at the distillery bar available while stocks last. For context, Nikka's flagship blended malt, the Taketsuru Pure Malt, has an outturn of 264,000 bottles per year, and I have never personally seen one with my own eyes on the shelves at RRP. Now, given that I'm a whiskey fan who runs a drinks-focused YouTube channel, who travels the country extensively and pops into pretty much every off-license he comes across, you get some idea of exactly how hard it is to find these things, even on the ground right here in Japan. But even with just 9,000 bottles per year available, it's achieved something. It's got Japanese whiskey fans excited, and it's made Nikka relevant again. Or at least, it's a start. The tasting notes promise wood and banana on the nose, a sweet, sour and smoky profile on the palate, and a long, peaty finish. But how will it really measure up? Stay tuned to Kanpai Planet to find out. Until next time, Kanpai!